Good morning, everyone. Well, more showers and storms in Nebraska today, and there is a chance for some severe storms in the western half of the state. So let's break things down for you hour by hour. 8 a.m. this morning, a few showers around, but most in the state dry. And I do think that's the story until 2 o'clock this afternoon, because it's early as about 2 o'clock that we could start to see some thunderstorms fire up in the eastern part of the state. I still think it's going to be dry in the western part of the state. It's going to take a little bit longer for the storms to fire up in the western half of the state, but for the eastern half of the state, I do have to mention the chance for thunderstorms beginning around 2 o'clock. Let's also talk about temperatures and wind today. Notice warmer to the east, cooler to the west. So as warm as the low to perhaps the mid 80s in the eastern part of the state. But as you work your way to the west, notice that as you get into the panhandle, only talking about highs in the low to mid 70s. Also more wind as you go to the west. So gusts are going to be around 15 miles per hour in the eastern part of the state. Central Nebraska, gusts averaging around 20 miles per hour. Get over to the panhandle, and then we're going to see gusts around 25 miles per hour. All right, let's jump ahead to late afternoon. And notice now the chance of storms coming into the western part of the state. And this will probably be the peak of the activity in eastern Nebraska. And the other thing worth pointing out, notice showers and storms in the east, showers and storms to the west, but on this model, nothing's showing up in the central part of the state. Now, I'm still going to leave in a chance for central Nebraska, but what I do want to stress, a better chance of showers and storms as you go to the east and west, and it looks like the driest conditions are going to be in the central part of the state. Now, we do think that the storms that fire up in eastern Nebraska today, heavy rain and lightning, but no severe storms. However, though most of the storms will probably be regular thunderstorms in the western part of the state as well, it's in the western part of the state that we might get some overachieving of storms that could produce some damaging wind and hail. So let's keep timing things out for you. Now, notice again the slight difference in timing here. So it looks like the peak of the activity for the western part of the state is going to be in the early evening hours. We're looking at 8 o'clock, but by 8 o'clock, the activity dying down in the eastern part of the state. So the peak is going to be late afternoon in eastern Nebraska, but early evening in the western part of the state. And it's still during the early evening that we saw that chance for severe storms. Now, jump ahead to 11 o'clock. Now we're looking at the late evening and probably completely dry central eastern part of the state. But notice the activity continuing in the western part of the state. And by 11 o'clock, I don't think we'll be seeing any damaging wind or hail. I think the chance of that going away. But the reason I'm still highlighting 11 o'clock is I still think there's going to be heavy rain and lightning. And notice that we're seeing additional heavy rain and lightning in places that already saw some earlier in the late afternoon and evening hours. So it's about 10, 11, midnight where we could see a few flooded roads with additional storms moving over places that already saw storms. It's not going to be widespread, but a few flooded roads are a possibility in the western part of the state. Now, jump ahead to 2 a.m. and the chance of storms going away back to just a few showers. And if we look ahead to Saturday, I do think it's going to be another similar story with showers and storms popping up across Nebraska, but on Saturday, not concerned about any severe storms anywhere in the state. So to summarize the severe threat, notice that the threat is west of Kearney today. So Kearney and areas east, yes, a chance of thunderstorms, particularly as you get into the eastern part of the state, Lincoln, Omaha, Beatrice, but not severe storms. But the potential for severe storms, talking about west of Kearney, North Platte, Scottsbluff. Certainly in this area that's highlighted, we're expecting heavy rain and lightning. That's going to be common. But that's mostly what most folks are going to see is just heavy rain and lightning. However, could see a couple of overachieving storms. And those overachieving storms, we're talking about wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour and up to penny-sized hail. Not worried about any tornadoes. But again, as I mentioned, particularly as we get into the late evening hours, there is the possibility for a few flooded roads in this area as well.